All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started with head coach Emma Coates. We will, as always, start off, let her make a quick statement, and then we'll open it up to questions. So, Coach?
Yeah, obviously, first and foremost, just want to say, obviously it's a difficult circumstances when you end the game with 9 players, and I thought the heart that the players showed, their toughness, we kept creating chances, we've hit the crossbar. I thought we might have been able to pinch one towards the end of the game. I thought we had a bright start to the game, the way that we were moving the ball. We had a couple of early penalty box entries, and unfortunately the sending offs obviously just sort of take the wind out of ourselves and kill it a little bit. But as I say, I thought they had hearts of lions out there today. Yeah, made us steal.
All right, thanks, Coach. Follow?
Paula Maruri, Tendereza, Brasil, California. Emma, regardless of the result you already mentioned, what we like to say about the performance of the team. We spoke on Friday about keep building that identity, how these games helped in that process.
Yeah, do you know, I thought we saw a real edge from the players at the end of the game, and the message to them is whatever it was that got them through that game off the back of a 3-game week, and we were still bright, we were still pushing for goals, bottle that up, and that's what we take over to Orlando.
And then also let's talk about your emotion. It was the last home game before the international break, and next game is going to be with Orlando away, and the fans and men 70, they were saying Betsy, what would you like to say about
Yeah,
that?
I love our fans, you know, when they're sort of chanting all through the game, and obviously they had our back throughout the game. We could hear them get noisy. That really does give the players that extra push of energy. And as I say, I think if we'd have had 11 players on the pitch, I think we'd have come away with all 3 points and multiple goals. So it's just frustrating that we never had that opportunity.
Thank you.
Ryan?
So this is, obviously a little bit disappointing. But if you look at some of how, two of your best players on the pitch most of the time, Claire and Taylor played today, and the fact that both of them look like we're not going to leave this game if I have anything to do with it. What do you take from that into the rest of the season? How do you regroup, and how do you channel that when you come back to say, look, we're 3 points out of 7th actually. How do we turn that into let's be top 4, let's have a home playoff game, and let's take our chances?
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, I think players really stood up today and worked really hard. Back of a 3-game week is never easy. It's hot, and then obviously we're down. And I thought there were some excellent moments from a lot of individuals. And the message at half time is if we can't find a way to win, we don't lose, which has obviously been a similar message to other games. And obviously, it's a shame, obviously, the goal where they've cut in and finish. I actually thought we were really disciplined with some of our structured. We had pure belief. And as I say, the fact that I actually thought I've not seen any of the data, so please correct me, but I thought we actually probably had, bar obviously later in the game, we went down to 9, longer spells of possession, even with 10 players, and actually dominated when obviously they had a player up. So we've just got to keep taking that belief, trusting in what we're doing. And as I say, we've got to bottle that passion up, bring that into next week, and then match that with sort of the quality on the pitch and being ruthless when we're finishing the attack.
Coach, could you talk a little bit about that first penalty? What did you see? Did you think that was a red card?
I've not seen it back, so obviously I don't want to comment too much. I think the frustrating bit, if I remember rightly, I think it's come off like a bit of a loose pass and a bit of a transitional moment, so I don't think we should ever been in that position. And obviously Aldi's been then put in a difficult position when someone's faced up and running with the ball. I was surprised that it was a sending off, but as I say, I've not seen it, and I'm always gonna back my own team and my own players.
Coach, can you just talk about the late chances the team created and how they seem to kind of bring energy to the group during at a time?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly thought we were going to score a goal. The message is stay in the game as long as we can. Let's see if we can release on a counter. And I actually thought it wasn't just counter-attacking goals that were coming. We were progressing up the pitch with quality. Players were staying on the ball, and another day we don't clip the crossbar, or it clips the crossbar and goes in, or someone gets on the end of one of the crosses. So I think that belief, that determination, we've been working a lot on our in possession play, the way that we want to create and score goals. And as I say, I'm just gutted that we never had the chance to play that game with 11 players for as long as we could, because I thought we were the better team, if I'm honest.
All right, and we do have a question on the Zoom. Marco, go ahead.
Hey, Emma, you guys are about to head into a sustained break now. When you guys had it after the first 4 games, you mentioned how you really looking forward to it. How about this one now? Are you looking forward to this sustained break, knowing that you guys had a disappointing result today?
Yeah, obviously we've got one more game. Obviously before the break. The break feels like from I think we've got 11 games before the break and something like 19 after. So it feels a little early. I think any break is an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity to pause, let the players recharge, reflect, see what we can tweak. Obviously it's a recruitment window as well. So I think there's a huge opportunity after this break, and but it does feel like it's come a little bit early.
All right, we also have Harold. Harold, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, Coach, I was just wondering if you ever had a team with 9 players before, and what was the message to the team?
Yeah, I've seen it probably twice at games I've been to, but I've never experienced it myself as a player or as a coach. So obviously we had some quick thinking in terms of how we adjusted to that. We always have a 10-player strategy that we adjusted to. I thought the girls responded to what we asked them to do really well, be really disciplined within our structure, try and control the rhythm of when we regain it, and asking for quality on the ball. So I've never experienced it. I thought our strategy was good. So yeah, obviously maybe we'll use that again. Hopefully I never experience that again in my career, if I'm honest. But yeah.
Go ahead, Ash.
With as many words as you can use, the fans really booed the referees as they came off the field. Just want to hear your thoughts a little bit of that for the game.
Yeah, I mean, I love our fans, first and foremost. I think in terms of some of the, obviously I don't want to comment on any of the decisions now. I'm sure everyone saw some of the reports that came out from previous games. I'll be interested to see what the reports are from this one. I'll always back my team. I just wish for consistency in decisions and essentially accountability and hopefully improvement of the development of refereeing, which I know is something that they're working on, and we have good conversations with the league and with Pro on that.
Just kind of building off that, last couple of home games, decisions, possibly teams points were lost. How frustrating is that, to not possibly get more points and be in a better position at the table right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I think my skill as a coach, I have quite a narrow bandwidth of emotion, and I think we have to focus on the things that we can control. I just hope that there's more and more consistency. I like the transparency, but obviously it's frustrating when you're on the end of those ones, and I'd love to see the replay of the goal that we scored, because live in play I don't think anyone called for it, the liner didn't flag, I don't think, and I actually thought it was just a really well worked goal. So as I say, I don't want to comment too much on it, but I want to see it back for sure, and I'm intrigued to see what their review and reflection is of it.
And just as the eye test from it, and when Jordan gets the red,
Yeah.
Once she realized she overran the ball and she just goes ahead and instead of turning around getting a penalty, tackling somebody in the box getting a penalty, how unselfish did you find that play, that she's like, I'm going to take the red here, versus making Emmy come in and take a penalty 2 seconds after coming in?
Yeah, again, I've not seen it back. I think one thing that Jordan has is a lot of heart and a lot of love for this team and her teammates. And I thought, she was wanting to be that extra player and come and defend the space. And I think she's just misjudged the bounce. And obviously, a goalkeeper's natural reaction in those situations is to obviously use one of them. So, I'd love to see it back. I'm like, could she have maybe ducked and we could have almost defended the bounce? I don't know, but I think it comes from a place from Jordan. She was really passionate around helping us in that 10 players. She wanted to defend the space, and it's come from a place of wanting to help her team. And I thought, Emmy made a couple of great saves, a couple of really smart decisions, and I thought, they're difficult circumstances to come into the game. With 9 players at that point, 9 players, and I thought Emmy's done really well as well.
Any other questions for Coach? Okay, we'll let her go then. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, we're set to get started here with Hannah Bebar and Claire Hutton. We will go ahead and open up straight to questions for these two. Paula?
Paula Maruri, Tentenez, San Francisco, California. I spoke with Emma about building identity on Friday. Regardless of the result, as players, what do you know about today's game that you want to contribute, in the future, and the process of building that identity? And I do have a follow-up. Thank you.
Yeah, I think in building our identity, we're going to go through bumps in the road, but I really love the energy that we brought even when we were 2 players down. Like, you could feel it out there, and I think across the board we had belief in, I think, in this league anything could happen, and you have to be ready for any scenario, even as crazy as today. And so building that identity, it's building that belief in each other, belief in our staff, and I think that grows each week.
And also, let's talk about the emotions, how important it was to connect with your fans. This is the last home game before the international break. Next game is going to be with Orlando away. How important was to have that communication with your fans, and they were supporting you all the time? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think it's super special to play in this area, San Francisco Bay Area. The fans always show up, show out, and to hear them cheering after we went a man down, then 2 men down, and throughout the whole 90-plus minutes was helpful for us. And just to know that we have that support behind us keeps us going, keeps us moving, keeps us running. And it's always bigger than yourself when you're out there. It's for the community, it's for each other, it's for the emblem on the front, and it's also for the city. So just being able to have these moments with the fan, and even if you lose, win, tie, draw, whatever it is, like being able to connect with them and know that we appreciate them showing up, staying there the entire game, it really means the world to us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We do have a question on the Zoom. Marco, go ahead.
Marco College Player Sports Route. Claire, what is said when you guys do go down 2 players when Sturm takes the red card? And how proud are you guys that you were able to keep composure and not let the officiating affect you guys the rest of the game, as you guys still were able to create chances offensively? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, the second red was given, I think, at the 63rd minute. So just looking up and knowing that we had about 30 minutes left was a lot. And I think just getting on the same page, knowing we want to stay tight, stay compact, was the number one. The main message was, let's not drop points, or let's at least get something out of this. Unfortunately, we didn't, but just showing the grit that we had to keep fighting and keep creating chances, even after a goal was scored on us, was huge. And obviously we don't want to let that first one in, but if we can continue working, continue making sure that we're staying together, knowing our triggers to when we're supposed to step, when we're supposed to stay, it's just going to keep growing. And again, another experience for us is just going to help us in our careers and help us as a team get better, and figuring out how that communication needs to flow from each line needs to get better. But there's no better experience than being right and thrown in the deep end of it.
All right, any other questions, Brian?
So today seemed to be, even before the red card, or first red card, and then on into it, seemed to be plagued with a lot of kind of almost their passes, just kind of passes that I don't know if it was playing slow today or what. And it was, I mean, is that just kind of fatigue playing the three games in 9 days, or is that just kind of like something that you got to look at each other and say, we're going to do better next week?
What do you mean by almost their
Like
passes?
Passes that are just not quite getting to the person, and like the first red card was a pass that kind of didn't get anywhere near the intended target. It looked like was picked off, and then caused the emergency play that got the red card. But I mean, unintentional. But how do you do better with those? The dot-to-dot connections, and the aggressive play first to the ball, all of that stuff that Emma's talking to us about all the time.
I mean, it's just technical execution at the end of the day, and it's, like you said, cleaning it up. We're working on it week in, week out, and nobody's perfect. People are going to make mistakes. That happen. So it's how can we make less mistakes? How can we capitalize on our moments that we do connect? Because then we did get into the final third many times, and we did have a lot of combination plays getting to final third, but every team has almost incomplete passes. If every pass was perfect, would it really be that fun to watch? Because you wouldn't have moments. So this is a game of soccer. It's a beautiful game. It's an ugly game. It's a hard game. Not everyone's a professional soccer player for a reason. We're out here grinding every day, and we're going to back each other up. So it's a game of love, and we're just going to keep competing every day.
And I guess the second part of that is that even with the way the first part of this season has gone, a little up, a little down, some points lost, points gained, like 6 points out of fourth and a home game in that first round of the playoffs. Do you just, at this point, do you just kind of look at it, obsess over the video, see the things that you can change and do better, and then come back out in July and say, okay, we're not doing those things again and we're cleaning them up?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best part of it is we're not halfway, technically, games-wise. So it's like, I know with the break, it kind of signifies that halfway, but like we have so many points to pick up on the back end, and we're only getting stronger, I think, as a group. Now, is that showing in the last couple of results? Not necessarily, but it's the process that we're focused on. And I think, we have really quality players. We have a really, strong coaching staff who supports us, that like, it's not a matter of looking at what we've missed. It's about going forward in the next game. And yes, we're going to watch film. We do the same methods every week. But I honestly think that we're like stepping in the right direction despite the results.
Hannah, just talk a little bit about that last shot you took right before the final whistle. And how did it feel when you were taking?
Yeah, well, I mean, Claire had boxed someone out. I don't even know, last ditch. And I just saw the opportunity and, like, watching it kind of skim the top. You know what? For a second, I thought I was going in. For a second, I did.
Same.
Yeah. So I think it's just, I really think in the second half, despite being 2 people down, like, we had dangerous chances. We had multiple shots on goal, and I don't think you can say that for a lot of teams that have gone down like that. Besides that Portland-Seattle game this year where Portland ended up winning. I don't know if anyone watched that. That was crazy. But, like, I think when you can leave a game being 2 men down and almost scoring multiple times in the second half, I think that's something to be positive about. But, yeah, for a half second I thought it was going in. But then, you know what? The ref blew the whistle, and I was just like, okay, next one.
All right, we have another question on the Zoom. Harold, go ahead. Harold, you there? Got a question for us?
Maybe Harold's not there.
All right, we're going to move on. Anybody else have a question in the room? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Question could be for either of you. I just want to talk about Taylor Huff's goal that was, called offside. Just what did you guys kind of see on that play and that led to the decision?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great combination play and good to see our front line working off of each other. It was unfortunate that the offsides was called. I think it was Cree just a hair offsides, and she didn't touch the ball, but I think it was an effect of the play. It happens again. Like, it's unfortunate, but just to see some of that quality come out and an opportunity like that be able to come into play and create itself was really nice to see, and I think it did give us some momentum. Obviously, you never want a goal taken away, but knowing that we were able to play off of each other, find those up back throughs, and we have just a great front line. Cree's such a good hold up 9, one of the best in the world, and just the way that Taylor's able to sneak through the back line and dribble, slither into space, it's so impressive. So now it's just about how we can build off of that and create more opportunities similar to that.
All right. Well, that is it for us today, and we will be back in action in Orlando on Friday. Thanks, everybody.